Hello, welcome to this quick setup for RIG2U5. Don't forget that in the plugin, within the add-ons, there is the button resource where you can click on documentation, and from there on you can read further instructions on how to use the add-on. So let's get to work. We're going to switch to RIG2U5 tab, where we can see the guidelines. This is what is expected of you to create or to import a new RIG2U5, a previously created RIG2U5 rig. In our case, we're going to create it brand new. So the first thing you're going to notice, sorry for this entire hierarchy that I have right here, I'm just going to emphasize all of this in our future training course. Click on create U5 meta rig. It's going to ask me if I want a face rig, and in this case I'm not going to use a face rig. I'm just going to click OK. And the first thing you're going to notice is that the scene has changed, the camera has changed, and you need to scale your model to this scale. You need to scale your model in order to match it with this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this. I'm going to go into object mode because right now I'm in edit mode for the bones and I don't want that. I'm just going to click here body, and I think I'm going to merge it all, or you can also, if you prefer single objects like this, you can also, let me just hide this because we're doing this as a quick test. You can also scale it as 100% using the 3D cursor, which we assume it's going to be in the center of the world. If it's not, make it visible, Shift S, cursor to world origin, this is where we want it, select everything in your character, and you're going to see that this has to be on 0 with Control A, apply all transforms. Everything has to be on 0 for this to work. This is important. This is another important step before scaling. So now that I've selected the entire object, I'm going to roll out my view. I'm going to press S100, enter. This is the approximate scaling that we're going to use in Unreal. Now, bear in mind that the size of the skeleton that we have right here, the size of the armature that we have right here, is the exact size of the mannequin. Therefore, if you export this model in the size that you're currently seeing in the viewport, it's going to be taller than your mannequin. So don't do that. Press S, and since we are still using the cursor as the origin point to scale your avatar or your model until it fits. I usually do the arms and the elbows right here and the shoulders for my scaling. So this is what we want. Okay, it's not that far from what we need to adjust. You can see that this arm has been created in a different angle than what it is expected on the mannequin itself, and this is something that you need to fix before binding into your model, before binding it into the Unreal Engine template, because you will have problems for retargeting. Not real problems, you can adjust them there. It's just as simple as taking the arm and rolling it to the right position. But if you can do that here in Blender, it's much better. So you will, directly do whatever operations you need to do in Unreal Engine without any further adjustments. So this is it. This is all you need to do, and I'm going to be adjusting these forearms to the correct position in the mesh. Okay, so as you can see now the scale has changed. So I'm going to do just Control A and apply scale. And everything that you had selected, it's going to be set to this scale. Now it is being correctly positioned and it's being correctly scaled. Let me just adjust this because this is important. It's a good thing that we wanted to do this. Let me just switch the rotation angle. Whoops. Not that. Oh, okay. There we go. And hello. Okay, so I'm adjusting the forearm plus the hand so that it will resemble the position that we have right here. So I think this is close enough, and I think this can work without issues. The idea here is not to separate the mesh from what we have in the bones as much, because as I mentioned before, this has been taken as the template. So therefore, try to make your mesh around the template that we provide. I will upload another video showing this. The recommended way to create all of these things beforehand, okay? So that's another thing to consider. So we have this in mirror mode, and we are also going to apply this mirror mode. This is basically organization and efficiency things. I'm going to apply this. I'm going to apply this. Do not leave anything, any operators, any modifiers. You want to have this as neatly and as cleanly as possible. Do not leave mirror modifiers active. That is not good. It will give you problems later on. This is just general recommendation stuff. You should do this every time. I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to leave that. I don't think. Oh, look. No, it's okay. So now that we have all that, we can proceed to fix or rather reposition the skeleton. So let's go into edit mode. I'm going to bring back the RIG2U5 menu. Let me just move this so you can see and read. So first of all, we have the rigified types. This is super important because every time we create a new bone, this is going to be assigned to that bone, and therefore we also have assigned to bone. Since we are not going to make any new items, although this fully created model will have additional items, and this will be created in the advanced course, by the way. So this is just the basic bare bones of what you are expected to have: a scale model and the armature created by the rig, by the add-on. Generate the U5 rig is the next step, but before doing that, we need to adjust the armature. So let's adjust the elbows, the shoulders. G, X. Let's move it to something like that, yes. And also this, I'm going to be moving it over here because this is where we want this actually to roll, to happen, to roll. Okay, we don't want to press that, so we are better off doing this thing more like in this side. So that way the upper arm plus this rolling elbow are going to be on the same hierarchy level parenting thing, and only this is actually going to bend the elbow because we have another piece over here. That's the one that we're going to bend. And fixing the arms for the hands is also something that we are going to do. So I'm going to select everything, scale that is approximately the size that we want. And I'm doing all of this in this video as fast forward, okay? Super important, I'm going to use the normals to manipulate the fingers. That gives us advantage because we can actually see the direction that the bone has. So in this case, this looks good. Let me go back into mesh and transparent mesh for that matter, so that we can see everything without occlusions. Yes, as I mentioned before, this is just a quick setup. Otherwise, it will take us a lot of time to fix all of this. Of course, this is why I mentioned you should always use the provided template. Otherwise, you'll get different results for rigging the fingers and stuff like that. Your model should always match the mannequin template that we provide with the method rig. We have an option on Shift A. We have an option on Shift A that gives you that template, so you can model around it. That is the recommendation. Please use that template. Otherwise, your model will most likely break in some angles and at some super important here to manipulate this is that you go back to the item tab and you want to make sure that these finger bones are correctly rolled. Like right now they are pointing this way. We don't want that. We want to point them in the right direction. So first of all, use the lasso. Always use the lasso and lasso these two joints together. Always, please. Otherwise the bones will break and RIG2U5 will break as well. Second consideration for your creations. All of these details I'm going to be uploading them in the upcoming. I'm going to be uploading them in the coming training course. So you want to come here into roll and roll this into this position. So I want all of these bones to be rolled into this position. So I'm going to select all of them and select this one last. This one is the corrected one. Shift N and then click on active bone. That's why we selected this as the last one. So all of these bones are now correctly rolled as this one. So now I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to press SX0 on the numpad, enter. And now they have been, put in the right place. This is where normal becomes handy. Now you can switch to the move tool and you can see the normals. Actually, it's the blue line we are interested in. Once the blue line moves, the normal repositions and the axis changes. This is important to understand as well. Green line, I want to move forward. And I guess that's it. Again, I'm doing this super quick so that we can move on to the next step. Over here, I think it's convenient to grab all of this and just slide it down here, and I'm going to grab this green line forward, blue line backward, the reposition itself. I'm going to roll this into the correct position now, like this, and I want all of these bones to obey this one in the roll. Shift N, active bone, so now they are aligned into that position. Of course, this was not perfect, so I'm going to select that one. Blue line, go up. Okay, that's mostly doing it. So I'm going to try to orient it or align it as much as I can, and from there again SX0, enter. You have it. That's great. Make sure that the joints correspond to the bending angles. In this case, this one is right here. It's going to be down here somewhere. This other bending angle is going to be around there. Your bones should always slightly go out, like this ball should slightly go out of the finger, always. This ensures that the controller rolls from this up to this point. If you do it too short, the bending of the finger is not going to correspond to the length. That's what I want to say, to the length of the finger. Okay, so we are almost done. I want to roll this one because this is the one that is going to guide the rest one. So Shift That looks good. Now let's align this, all of them. SX0, enter, move. Grab that, green line forward. Grab that, green line forward. It's the angle, the preferred angle. Make sure that they are inside the mesh. That's good. And this one could be a little bit up. Okay, so we have that. And this is important. Make sure that you have the X symmetry active. In my case, it's always active by default, but in your case, you may need to check that. You want that to be active by default. Now, let me just reposition that elbow so that we can see that the roll is going to be happening there. It will be strange if the elbow actually rolls from here, but I'm kind of like if we want the roll to be from here. That also looks a little bit weird. So let's just leave this over here and let's make the roll happen there. Okay, so that's that, and let's go for the chest. She has big breasts. This is intentional because on Unreal Engine we are going to use two most necessary things. One of them is applying spring bones, and the second one is applying hair. So we're going to cover that later. This model will serve for a lot of purposes, but this is the most basic setup that you can get out of it. So we're just going to put this like this. Now, one thing I need to mention is that in the most perfect world, we would use the leg like this. This is what Unreal Engine wants. This is what Unreal Engine likes. However, if we use this in Rigify, our rig will not work. This is why we send it just a little bit forward. But if you're having issues, try to bring it just a little bit back like this, just a little bit, slightly, because you need to have an angle. The bigger the angle this is for Rigify, the better it will understand how to roll it and how to bend it. In Unreal Engine, that doesn't matter. In Unreal Engine, you can have this like a straight line like this. As a matter of fact, it is recommended to do that over there if you're going to create the bones in Unreal Engine. However, in Rigify, you need to have a slight angle. So this is why we're doing this like this. Also, the bending for this, let me go to local. The bending for this will be on the Y angle right there. Okay, that's great. Let's go back here. And it seems that everything is okay. Let me just save this version so we can move on to the next one. And now we have a rig that adjusts to the things we want to do. Let's adjust these bones as well, because this is where she's going to be bending. Okay, so this is for the hips, this is for the middle of the stomach, and this is for the chest. That's important to also notice. And also, let me just fix this because it's a little bit down. G, Z, Z, and right there. Okay, that will do. The way the legs are going to bend are also important, so let's just leave that there. And let's just bring this a little bit in because the legs are too far out. G, X, X, and I'll move them just slightly. We want to cover all that in a single bind. Okay, so now it's been done. RIG2U5 tab. Let's go back again, and you can see that now that we have adjusted the rig. Actually, let me just adjust this some more. GXX right there. I think that should work right there. And now that we have that ready, let's click on generate the U5 rig. Please mind that once the U5 meta rig is created, you need to then generate the U5 rig. So we'll click on that, and now we're in the weight page. The weight page has different tools, but the most important one, it's going to be this one that says bind these objects, and it also requires you to add the list of the objects that you're going to bind. We created this so that you don't have this problem, like select this one and then Control P, select this one and then Control P. Oh no, I forgot. Then let's select this one and then Control P. No, that's too many Control P's in a workflow. What we did was just to add them directly into a list. So I'm going to select the body, add selected, and now it's there. I'm going to add the forearms, add selected, now they are there. I'm going to add the shorts, add selected. I'm going to add the boots, the boot protectors, add them. I'm going to select the boots and add them. I'm going to select the shirt and add selected. Again, this is not going to be a perfect this is not going to be a perfect binding. I'm just walking you through this, okay? I'm going to select the elbow rolls, add selected. So you can see all of these different objects, and you can have many more, but we want to start easy with this, okay? Again, I'm going to be posting this in a longer format video. So now that we have all that, we can return to the full color thing. And you don't need to have anything selected, just this list ready, and then click on bind weights. And you will immediately be transported into the animate tab. After binding, then you can click on switch to animate here, or click on animate page here. You will be sent to this animation workflow. We were on layout, by the way, okay? So animation workflow is for your animation ready workspace. Okay, so she's moving. You can see there, it's nothing, it's doing everything we wanted to. Oh, we forgot these little two pieces that were in there. No problem. This is why we created this RIG2U5 add-on with pagination. Pagination means that you can go back to any other workflow that you previously did in order for you to correct it. In this case, we're going to go back into weights, and we forgot to add those two little hidden pieces. Oh no, what am I going to do? Well, super easy. Let's go back here and let's grab that, and let's continue to bind these objects. I'm going to add again this one, which is called cylinder 09. Not surprisingly, they were not visible. I'm going to be adding them as well. And don't forget, please, this is very important, don't forget that you need to apply, in this case it's mirror, apply that thing. This also, you can apply here, it's Control A, so Control A, apply. So this is how they are called, cylinder 09 and then cylinder 08, I think. They are there. Again, you don't need to have them selected, just add them into the list. You can remove them from the list over here, or remove all of the selected ones directly from the viewport using this button. So that's it, they are added, and then bind weights again. Now we can switch to animate, and let's see how that went. I'm going to grab the arm again, and then I'm going to move it. Now we can correctly see that everything is rigged. What about the chest? Alright, that's been done. Oh no, Mr. Schiller, now we have additional objects that need to be bound into the face, into the head. Yes, indeed. And for that, we can go back to weight, and you can use the original. Oh, this one has a mirror as well. I'm going to apply it. I think this one also has a mirror. Apply it, apply it, apply everything. For right now, we're not going to use the facial rig. This model was created to show the facial rig, so this is something we will do later. But right now, what we want to do is just to grab all of these things. First of all, let me just quickly grab this in post mode. Select this one and exit post mode. I'm going to select this and the eyelashes, the eyebrows, the eyelid fold, which is this thing right here, and then I'm going to shift click on the armature, Control P, and then select bone. And that way, if I go into pose mode, you can test if this works. However, if I go RR to roll, you will notice that this doesn't even move. This is because you're working with the game rig, and for that you need to detach the root rig. In this case, it's not, we don't call it game rig, we call it root rig. You need to detach the root rig to test this. Okay, so now you can see it moves freely without the constraints. So yes, this is what we want. Now reattach it to the control rig so the control rig can operate on top of this thing. So let's switch back to animate, and now if I select my bone head, you can see that this works well. Let's go back to weight again because we forgot the hat. So I'm going to grab the hat, I'm going to grab the armature, shift click, Control P, and then just bind it, or rather make it a child of the parent bone. Now this poses one problem. When you export this into Unreal Engine, all of these objects will be absolutely mayhem. So this is not the recommended way to do that. Instead, what you should do is to assign the entire object the weights of the bone. In this case, this bone is named head. I'm going to copy that name. I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to assign it to the armature with Control P. However, I will not use weights. Control P, I just assign the armature deform. This will create an armature modifier, but will not add any vertex groups or any weights. I'm going to add them myself with that plus button. Head, I'm going to go into edit mode and then assign. So 100% of this is now being driven by the head bone. I'm going to do the same things with all of these objects because again, it is not even worth worrying about them right now. So Control J, I'm going to add them manually. Armature, the object is the root. Okay, that's the one that we want. And the name of the vertex group to influence all of them is just head. I'm going to go back to edit mode, select everything, and then click assign. This is assigning at 100% vertex influence. And now, not only that you have parented to the armature, you now also have weights that have been assigned to 100% to this head bone. This is important. So now if we go back to animate, we can finally see that the head corresponds. That double transformation that you're seeing right there, it's because the actual center of those objects is down here. And for this kind of things, the center of the objects should be in the middle. So I'm going to correct that. So I'm going to grab all of this because these were different objects. I'm going to bring them the origin point. You can see this little white point there. I'm going to bring it over there, and I'm going to do the same thing for the head because the head is also going to move strangely. And that's it. Let's go back to animate. Let's grab the head control, and now you can see, oh, this is because it was parented before. It is parented and it is weighted, so that's why we're seeing double transformations. No problemo. Alt P, clear and keep transformation. Clear parent and clear transformation. Control P, clear parent and keep transformation. So now this should fix it, and that's it. We forgot about this little guy, so we're going to do the same. Except this time, we're actually going to add it to selected and then bind the weights. We're not going to mess around with anything else. And this should give us our perfect control. Alright. Okay, so we're ready. And now I'm going to click on FBX to U5. FBX to U5 exports. And I'm going to name my cowgirl version 1.1. copy that, FBX2U5, and it says FBX character exported successfully. Let's go to Unreal Engine. This is a brand new project. I'm going to create a new folder. I always like to put this icon, either this one or a star. This helps you to see faster your stuff. Cowgirl, and it also places it on top of all of the other changes, so that's important. Import. Let's go to the path, bring the cowgirl model, and by the way, this is this is Unreal Engine 5.4. Okay, someone told me, so we want to check on 5.4 that we have everything there. You don't touch anything, just import it all. In Unreal Engine 5.4, everything should come perfectly imported. Like, there's not really much to do over here. Hello, so this is the quick test that I have using the hair blend shape. Right now it's set to 1, and the driver for that is the set position of this hat. So if I grab this and pull it up, the idea is that the hair returns to its original size. As you can see, this is a pop-up. Okay, I'm working in the 0.05 scene size, 0.01 scene size for this case, as the Unreal Engine requires. So I thought I was doing this in a wrong setting, but if I drive this up GZ, you can see this is the desired point, 0.03. So I'll grab that and use it in the expression. Edit driver, you can see 0.03. You would assume that this would, have the hat come up here, and then the full blend shape will be active or inactive. Instead, we get this pop-up. So I thought maybe the scaling is affecting this, and effectively, if I go to the driver, I can see that the value is 0, GZ, pull it up, go to the driver again, and you can see the value is 4.36. This is what I was mentioning before. This is not the value. The value should be read from the position of the set, which is 0.04, because that's what we're dealing with in the scene size unit scale. Yeah, so that's that. There's an issue there. It doesn't take the scene size, it takes internal code. So in this case, if I switch this to 0.4, or in my case 0.5, that will allow the correct blending of this shape. As you can see, it's still a little rough. It is still a little rough, but then I kind of get the result that I wanted. 0.5, it's not working. So if I quickly press 5, you can see 3.74. Now the value has changed again, and updated dependencies. It will correctly now do that blend shape in the hair. It's so soft you don't see it. Let me switch it over here. So now I can place the hat, and the hair will not go out of the hat, because I have that blend shape correctiveness. Anyways, it's a huge difference. 0.05, 0.5, and then 5. It's a huge difference. So it doesn't take in relationship of the scene scale. It always hard codes it to 1 as a scene scale for the drivers. Mind, this is happening at driver level. in the Unreal Engine project, you will see that your bionic character girl is ready to do whatever operation you want. If you want to create the IK rig, you can just right click, go into create and use IK rig. It will immediately create the asset, double click on it, and you just click auto create IK rigs and then auto create retarget change. You will also get the 100% accuracy, so your character is ready to be IK retargeted. That's a great thing. And also you can do this workflow by right clicking, create, and then activating the modular control rig. Okay, you can create this and it will immediately activate the control rig for this character. Don't forget that this is all by the actions of the plugin RIG2U5. And from there on, you can start doing the workflow. You can follow the video that I have on the channel for the playlist. So all the workflows have been already included there so that you can control your character inside Unreal Engine as well.